Hey there, David Risley here with Blog Marketing Academy, and I want to quickly tell you why I use and recommend the Clicky analytics service. Now, one might be asking, why bother with a paid analytics service when there's Google Analytics out there for free? And that's a super good question. Now, the answer is I also obviously use Google Analytics. I think Google Analytics is an awesome service, and it actually keeps getting better. They've been making some interface changes lately. That being said, it's not the only game in town, and I use two services at the same time. I use Google Analytics, and I use Clicky. And you might ask why. Well, it's because Clicky's got some strengths that Google Analytics doesn't have. Now, let me go show you on my screen what Clicky looks like, and I'll show you some of the main reasons why I use Clicky on top of Google Analytics. So we're on my user dashboard here, and you can see there's multiple graphs here for various websites that I use or that I operate. And this is one of the reasons I do like Clicky is the fact that I have a visual graph and a present time idea of the stats on any given day, and it's totally in real time. And so on one screen I can look and see what's going on all these websites, whereas with Google Analytics it takes a lot more clicks to do something like that. Another thing that I like is the spy view. What the spy view does is it literally gives you a full real-time look at what's going on your website right now. As you can see, we've got a map of the world here, and each one of these dots is somebody who's sitting on my website right this minute as I'm recording this video. I can see where they come in, I can see where they leave, what their various paths are. This is really cool. I mean, Google Analytics has a delay on it, whereas Clicky is completely and totally in real time. Now, there's also this function here called the big screen, and when you click on that, you get something like this, which again is totally real time as to what is happening on the site right now. And I think this is really cool to know. Obviously, you've got your goals and your campaigns here if you want. I don't have that set up in this service, but it does all that stuff, and I can track what's happening in real time. So I can literally put this screen on one of my monitors on my computer and sit there in real time, know exactly what's happening. And I can tell you from experience, it's actually really cool sometimes when I email my list and you can see these numbers spike up really, really quickly right after I email the list. It's actually cool to be able to see that, whereas with analytics you can't see that. When you have the dashboard in any one of your websites, you get all the basic stats here. You get a graph, content. So a lot of this stuff is very similar to Google Analytics. It's just that you can get to the key data that you want a lot quicker, and I like the fact that everything is updated in real time. So that's the Clicky service. That's why I use it. And the other thing is that, why am I using two services at the same time other than what I've already told you? The other thing is that sometimes these services measure things a little bit differently. And one example of that is the bounce rate statistic. Google Analytics typically has a fairly high measurement of bounce rate. So you'll look at your bounce rate and you're like, holy crap, 70% of the people are leaving my website right when they get there. It's something with the way they measure it. I don't really know what it means, but when I go over to Clicky, my numbers are really very different. And the truth is, when I watch the spy view, I can tell that the majority of traffic is not leaving immediately when they get there. So the bounce rate, whatever it is on Google Analytics, it's not accurate. So I like to run two different services, and that way I can get a more full idea of what's going on the websites and not depend on just one service. And then, of course, if you're one of the paranoid types about letting Google know everything, well, then that might be another reason to use something like Clicky, because it's not Google. It's completely independent. That's up to you. In my case, I use both services. So anyway, that's why I recommend Clicky. Maybe you'll heed my advice. I recommend that you do. It's only, I think, $59.99 a year. I mean, it's not expensive. We're talking, about $5 a month to use it. I think it's more than worth it. And that's my review. I will see you later.